Hello, welcome to Take 10 on Tuesdays with the Tennessee Tribune. I'm Sandra Long-Weaver. I'm the editorial director for the Tribune, and today our guest is Dr. Cheryl Green, who is the Assistant Vice President of Student Affairs at Tennessee State University. But today she's going to talk with us about the Gift of Adoption, an agency where she is a board member. Hello, Dr. Green, and welcome.
Hello, Miss Weaver. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and thank you for coming in. This is, we don't get a chance to talk about adoption very much, especially in the Black community, where we know that there are a number of our children that do need to be adopted. But tell me a little bit about the Gift of Adoption. It's a national organization with a Tennessee chapter.
It's a national organization. It is a charitable organization. It's a 501c3 organization, and they raise money so that they can assist families who are trying to adopt. And what they do is they provide the last dollars for the adoption to the needy families.
Okay.
And
so the last dollar, so is the money going to the family, or is it going to the agency, to the attorneys who are helping the families complete the adoption?
No, we only fund families who have been approved and vetted, if you will, by accredited agencies. And we help families who are U.S. families and international adoptions as well.
Oh, really?
And the money goes to the adoption agency or the adoption attorney. It does not go to the family member, but it goes to the entity that's helping the family to close the adoption process.
Okay. All right. And how long, so can a family contact the Gift of Adoption first and seeking help? I know we'd like to adopt a child. So are you seeing that first request come through you, or is it mostly agency referrals?
Well, I think it
Or
can
both
happen
ways.
either way. And the families have to be at a certain point in that adoption process. So if you're just getting started, then we would not be your first point of contact. We would be your last point of contact, because you have to be towards the end of the adoption process. You have to have already contributed significant funds towards the adoption yourself. And again, you have to be vetted by an agency. So we are something that you would do towards the end of the adoption process. I'm really proud of the Gift of Adoption agency because there are 13 official chapters. Tennessee is the 13th chapter.
Oh, so it's relatively new in the organization.
The agency itself is celebrating its 10th year.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's only been around since 1996. And there are approximately 6 emerging chapters that are not official chapters yet. So 19 entities across the country with the label Gift of Adoption. And I'm really proud to be a board member of the Tennessee chapter. Nationally, the organization since '96 has given $5.3 million in funding to families.
Okay.
We have helped over 1,725
And
children.
And that's nationally?
Nationally.
Wow, okay.
And the Tennessee chapter just got started less than 2 years ago. I joined in 2015, and I believe that it started in 2015 or at the end of 2014. So it's less than 2 years old for the Tennessee chapter.
How many families has the Tennessee chapter been able to help in that period?
I can tell you that in 2015, 170 families received grants and 212 children were placed by the national organization. I don't have data for Tennessee exclusively.
Okay, all right, but that's wonderful. Do you have a sense of how many African American or perhaps African children are placed through the organization?
Well, we don't.
Or you're helping to
Okay.
place. Let me use the correct language.
Okay. All right. Let me just say that there are hundreds of thousands of children in the U.S. who are waiting to be adopted. And there are millions of children worldwide that are waiting to be adopted. With the Gift of Adoption Agency, we don't discriminate based on marital status, religion, race, sexual orientation. We really focus on, is there a family who desires to adopt a child, and have they committed themselves financially, emotionally to that process, and then we try to help them finalize that process. So we have families who are primarily Caucasian who adopt African American children.
Okay.
We have African American parents adopting African American children, and we have and parents of both races adopting internationally. So we open the door to focusing on the family.
And the child
picks the child.
I see.
We don't say, here's a child, adopt this child. We let the family select their child,
make that bond
make
and connect.
that choice, that commitment, and then come to us for resources.
Wonderful. Okay. And how much does an adoption, that whole process, cost?
Looking at some national statistics, it costs on the average between $25,000 to $35,000 to adopt a child, which is a substantial amount of money. And the Gift of Adoption has been able to grant families funding ranging from as low as $1,000 to as high as $7,500.
Oh, great. Okay, so that's a substantial help to families that are going through this process. And how long does it usually take before a family reaches sort of the end of that procedure, the end of that process where they're coming to you?
I think it depends on whether it's a domestic adoption
or an
international adoption. I think they tend to take longer, but it could take as long as 2 to 3 years to adopt a child. And again, we come in at the tail end of that process, so our process is going to be shorter than that.
And how large is the organization here? About how many board members?
Oh, there are approximately 10 board members in the Tennessee chapter. We are looking for dedicated members to join us and who have a similar desire and a mission and an interest in serving their community that way. I mean, as an educator, I believe that we have to give back. And this is one of the ways I give back. And there's nothing more rewarding than helping a family get the love of their life, their child.
Do you get to meet any of the
Actually, we do.
And
Actually, we do. One of the things that we do, and we will be doing at our upcoming walkathon, is we tend to feature, with the family's permission.
Yes.
We tend to feature the family that we have granted, and so either National chooses a local family or we know of a local family. And with their permission, we get, a photo op. We expect a family to be at our November 5th walkathon. And we like to celebrate that union. And we like to let people know that this happened for this family. And this can happen for your family if this is your desire.
Oh, that's wonderful. So now you've mentioned the walkathon. What is the date and where is it going to be? Give us a little information about that.
Well, we're really excited. This is the Tennessee chapter's first walkathon.
This is a fundraiser.
It is a fundraiser. You can go online and donate at www.facebook.com/giftofadoptiontennessee.
Okay.
If you are unable to attend the race, you can just donate. But the actual event will be held on November 5th, 2016 at the John Siegenthaler Bridge.
Okay.
And we are excited. The registration is only $35.
Okay.
We want as many people as possible to come out and support this truly charitable organization.
And what time does the walk begin?
The walk begins at approximately 9 a.m.
Okay. And it's 1 mile?
It's 1 mile. We call it the final mile.
Okay.
It is not a marathon. You do not have to prove your endurance.
Right.
But just come together
Mm-hmm.
and bond and share with us on this journey of a mile that symbolizes the journey of the family.
Right. Okay. And also ties into the final funds.
Yes, the
that are
final
needed
funds.
in
Thank
the
you.
final mile. No, I thought about that. So, well, this is a wonderful opportunity to do something a little bit different. Is there anything else that you'd like to add about the organization or joining?
Let me see. The only other thing that I would like to add is that we distinguish ourselves in that we actually focus on vulnerable kids.
Okay.
And by that I mean we have a tendency to put a priority on kids who are aging out of the system.
Oh, I
Those
see.
are the
So
children that are hardest to adopt.
Mhm. So those are generally teenagers?
Yes.
Mhm.
And then also we tend to focus on children who have medical needs,
Okay.
because a struggling family to come up with the adoption costs and to anticipate future medical costs is really a challenge. And last but not least, we also focus on sibling adoptions.
Oh, I
Those
see.
are some of our priorities.